Salut people from all around the world, it's Ellie and I'm coming at you from my kitchen because today we're gonna make a food dedicated video. So it's going to be a series of 3 videos that are gonna talk about the best items to purchase in France. I'm not making this video so you buy useless things because that's not the goal, but for me the best way to remember a trip to country is to purchase some local food items or some local things at the pharmacy. And also you make beautiful memories by trying food abroad and by taking pictures, talking with people. But if you want to bring something back from France, in today's video I'm going to show you my favorite French items you can purchase at either the supermarket. It doesn't matter if it's Carrefour, Auchan, Franprix, all the ones in France are kind of the same. So you will find those items really easily. And if it's not at the supermarket, it will be available at one of those 3 or 4 very known organic stores in France. So either Naturalia, Biocop, La Vie Claire, and the last place where you can find those items is going to be at a local épicerie. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT has the answer to all of my questions, which I love. A French épicerie is a type of store that typically sells a wide range of food and household items, similar to what you might call a grocery store or corner shop. I would say, yeah, an épicerie is a corner shop. And there are different kinds of épicerie. You have the one that has a wide variety of dairy products or meats, and then you have other ones that have more local and imported goods or artisanal and gourmet foods. So yeah, that's what I had in mind, more of the artisanal and gourmet foods at the épicerie. I'm going to cover 3 things in this video. The first one is going to be savory food items, and you're gonna have sweet food items. And the last one is going to be miscellaneous because there are other things such as coffee, teas, and a bit more things that I didn't know where to put. I consider all of the items I'm going to share with you affordable. Most of them, I would say 90% of the items I'm going to show you are less than 10 euros. And some of them are a bit more pricey, but none of them exceed 30 euros. So you can find something for every budget and also every suitcase, because some of the items are going to be a bit more heavier and some of them are going to be lighter, so it will depend on how much space you have in your suitcase, how much money you want to put towards those gifts for a friend, a loved one, or for yourself. And with that said, let's start the video. I have my laptop because I made a list for everything just so I don't forget. And by the way, I took so much time to make this video. It took me hours and hours to make the list because I'm not going to talk about mainstream things. I'm going to talk about real, authentic French food items, okay? With that said, let's start with the savory food. First thing I have put on my list is oils. All of those oils I'm going to show you are from an organic store. I think I bought them at Biocop, but they're available in other organic stores. The first brand is DIJON. So this is a ginger infused olive oil. It's a very small bottle, it's 100 ml, and it's very easy to bring with you in a suitcase. This brand DIJON has 4 oils I have tried. I have tried the ginger one, the coriander oil, what was it? Their walnut oil. Okay, my favorite from DIJON is the walnut oil, and I have a small package of the oil as well as the big package. So walnut oil from DIJON is my favorite. And those are, I think, about 10 euros each. But as for my favorites, it's for sure walnut oil, ginger oil, and this peanut one. This is the brand Bioplanet, and I think it was something like 7 euros, so it's very cheap. This one I love. So linen, do you call it linen seed oil or linen oil? So it basically is graines de lin. So this oil is also from the brand Bioplanet. This one is the big bottle, it's the 250 ml. And I use this one every day. It's known for having anti-cancer properties. Like, there was not a study on it, but a lot of people that had cancer use those oils a lot. But I didn't buy it for this. It's just very good for your body. So linen oil, also from Bioplanet, I highly recommend. The second thing I have put on my list is called CROZET. So CROZET are, I would describe them as little pasta. It's little squares. They're made out of eggs, wheat, and buckwheat. And this for sure you cannot find in other countries, but this is very good. Third item I have put on my list is obviously cheese, right? Because France is the country of cheese. This one is a bit tricky because you cannot necessarily bring all types of cheeses to your country, especially America, because there is a law on pasture. What's the word? There is a law in the US where you cannot bring to the country anything that comes from non pasteurisé, unpasteurized, I think it's how you say it, unpasteurized milk, pasteurized milk, whatever. A lot of cheeses in France are not pasteurized, which means they have their original living bacterias. So I'm not sure you can bring all of their cheeses, but make sure to always have a look before your flight at the items you can bring in your suitcase and things you cannot. But there are some cheeses you can bring to your country. For example, I think Comté. So I'm just gonna make you a list of my favorite cheeses you can try while in France, and if you like them, you can purchase them and have them vacuum sealed. This is the list of my favorite cheeses. There is Morbier, Comté, I would add Mimolette, Beaufort, Abondance. If you like goat cheese, I really think you would like Tome de Brebis. There is a cheese called Étorquille, it's very good. Then in my list I have Saucisson. We have a lot of those. It's either a very thin one or you can have a bit thicker Saucisson. The natural one, so the classic Saucisson is very good. A lot of them are already vacuum sealed, but if, for example, you want to have a vacuum sealed saucisson that is more local, either go to an épicerie or go to a butcher, because butchers, almost all of them have a vacuum sealing machine. So saucisson, there is also one already made with cheese, there is one made with myrtille, so blackberries, that is very good. There is one made with pepper, but usually a saucisson, like a good one, is between €5 a piece to 10, 11 euros a piece. Another item on my list is mustard. I know we have a lot of different mustards in France, and if you go to an épicerie, you will find a lot of different kinds of mustards. My favorite is the classique. It's moutarde à l'ancienne, so it looks like this. It has little pearls or like little dots in it. And then you have l'original. This is moutarde fine de Dijon, and it's more of a mixed one. So this one, I use it for mayonnaise, because in France, a lot of people make their own mayo. I can show you that another day, but those ones are my favorite. And this one I think costs something like €4, so the prices are really good. After the mustard, we have les herbes de Provence. So herbes de Provence is a mix of several dried herbs. There is thyme, sarriette, I think there is oregano, and something else, but I'm not sure from the top of my head what's inside. It's very cheap. At the supermarket, I think you can buy a big bag for €3. And I always have herbes de Provence at home. Another thing on my list, it's called pâté. So there are different kinds of pâté in France. There is le pâté traditionnel, which is made with pig. It's made with different cuts of the pig. There is also another pâté that is made with duck, so pâté de canard. And then there are also other mixes of different meats, but the classic one is the pig one, so pâté de campagne. Now let's go to the sweet foods, and those are my favorites because I love sweet things. The first thing I have put on my sweet food item list are syrups. Whenever I travel to the US, because this is like the best country to compare France and the US with, since it's so different culturally. Syrups are not part of the culture, because people drink a lot of sodas. In France, people like syrups. I'm gonna share my favorite brands and my favorite flavors with you. I have a very specific and weird taste, so it doesn't represent the majority of French people, but those brands that I'm gonna share with you are well known in France and they're really good. So the first brand of syrup, it's called Bigallet. You can find this one either at a more specific épicerie store or in a supermarket. So Bigallet has a wide range of syrups. My favorite is lavender syrup. And this bottle, by the way, is 350 ml. Sorry. So I think that could fit in your suitcase. Then my second favorite syrup of all time, also a purple one and a weird one, is made from violet flowers. I have seen smaller bottles in épicerie, but usually in supermarkets they only sell the big sirop de violette. So this is the brand Moulin de Valdonne, and as you can see, I have had maybe half of the syrup and I bought it 3 months ago. I love this one in the summer with ice cubes, a little bit of lemon and a lot of water. Another French staple, this one is not weird, it's used by many French people I know, not like the sirop de violette and the lavender one because that's more of a specific syrup, but this is pêche. So this is white peaches. This one is the last one I have because I don't have that many kinds of syrups. It's a classic French adored syrup is fraise des bois, so wild strawberries, or the ones you can usually find in the mountains. So this one is very good. And another French very known and used syrup is grenadine, so it's just a mix of red berries. It wouldn't be a French food video if I didn't speak about chocolates. You can either purchase really good chocolates at the supermarket. You just find whatever sounds good to you. We have a large choice, but my favorite way of eating chocolates in France would be probably to go to chez un chocolatier. Depending on where you go, for example, in my city in Lyon, there is Voisin, that is a French chocolatier that sells amazing chocolates, and you can pay for like 100-gram box and you choose the chocolates you want, or a bigger box. But there are a lot of different ones. You just Google the one that is the closest to you, but find one that has great reviews and you pick your own chocolates. That's a really nice treat. Then I have put chestnut spread. And not a lot of people speak about this because, you know, I'm a local, so I know what we have in France. But tourists don't necessarily know about it because it's not known abroad. I'm not sure you can find this in other countries, maybe in some. Let me know if in your country you can find this. So chestnut spread, it's delicious. I like to put it in my applesauce, for example. I put a teaspoon of chestnut spread in my applesauce, or I like to put it on yogurt, like on a coconut yogurt, or if you're not dairy free, just like on a regular yogurt. It's very yummy. There are different packagings. This one is a smaller one. There is a smaller version to this one, by the way, and this one is the bigger one. I always have some chestnut spread at home because you can open it and only have it open in your fridge for 15 days. Then on my list I have put specialty jams and spreads. In France we have a very large variety of jams. For example, in the winter people like to put fig jam on their foie gras. I don't know if you know what is foie gras. It's basically like a very fatty part of the duck that is used as a traditionally Christmassy entree in France. We like to put that on savory things as well. You know, the fig jam is very good. Then we have orange jam that I'm sorry, but I hate oranges, so that I'm not a fan, but a lot of people love orange jam, orange marmalade. Then we have really good strawberry jams, raspberry jams. What else do we have? In terms of specialty spread, we have something called confit d'oignon that is very good. It's basically caramelized onions. And this is so good to just put on a toast of bread with butter, or just to put on top of foie gras. If you want more of those unique jams, go to your local épicerie. They will have a lot of different kinds of jams. For example, rose jam, or a lot of them. Just go there and I'm sure you will find something that is unique and that you will like as well. I don't know if you know what is nougat, but I had to put it on the list. Le nougat de Montélimar. It's a very sweet bar. It's made with sugar, egg white, honey, I think, hazelnut and almond. Nougat is like the classic nougat. I think a bar costs between 6 to 10 euros. It's really good. I think it's worth it, even to bring as a gift. It's very delicious. It's very sweet though. Then we have caramel beurre salé. I should have put this with the specialty spreads. As it's in the name, it's salted caramel made with a salted butter. It's so good. You can find this at the supermarket. Another one les macarons. So France is known for macarons. It's an expensive item though. It's an expensive item, I'm not gonna lie. It's very good. My favorite macarons are salted caramel, chocolate, vanilla is very good, pistachio is very good, and then I really like raspberry macaron. And if you want to know two brands, like two stores you can go to, they're expensive everywhere, but those two brands have, I think, the best macaron. It would be La Durée, very well known, but they have really good ones. And then Pierre Hermé. Then pain d'épices, gingerbread. In France, we have really good gingerbreads made with really high quality items, so that you can find in supermarkets or at the épicerie. And one of the last items I had to put on it are obviously cakes, cookies, and dry biscuits. In France, we have a lot of those. When you go to the supermarket, you will for sure find something that sounds heavenly. My favorites that I always bring back to my family in Slovakia are palmiers. My sister loves palmiers. Then madeleines. My favorite madeleines are the classic ones or the ones with chocolate chips. The brand Bonne Maman has really good ones, or you can buy them at your local bakery. And the last one I have put on the list for those biscuits is called crêpe dentelle. It's very thin. I don't know how to describe it. And the last item I had to put on the list are honeys. France is known for having a very wide climate. So we have, for example, the mountains. That means, you know, it's a bit cooler and we have different plants and trees there, which enables to have honeys such as pine honey or thyme honey, which I really like whenever I'm sick. But I went to La Vie Claire, it's one of the organic stores I mentioned earlier in the video, and they have those small packagings of a lot of different kinds of honey, so you can try a lot of them. But pine honey is very, very delicious. It's really good whenever you're sick, you know, from your throat or from your nose or from your head. Then thyme honey is really good as well when you're sick. It's also a very high anti-inflammatory honey, so you can put it on scars, you can put it on your skin. For example, I like to make thyme face masks for my acne or my scars. Then my all-time favorite honey is lavender. This one I think is a must try in France. Go to a French épicerie or a French honey store, then you can try it for free. But this one I like to just have a little teaspoon as is. You don't put it in your tea, you just eat it as is. It's so good. And then you have more of the classic honey. This is miel de printemps, so it's made from spring flowers. And this is a huge jar. That one was 20 euros at my local store. I love it. So I think honeys are a really good gift to bring to people because you can have smaller packagings, and that way you can try a lot of different things. So that's kind of it for the sweet section. Now I'm gonna cover the miscellaneous. There are things I didn't really know where to put, but they're still worth mentioning. And one of those is coffee. So I know coffee doesn't come from France, okay, I'm not stupid. It comes from either Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, or other countries where there is a production. But this brand Malongo, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a French, yeah, Malongo is a French brand. And I know my stepmom loved this coffee. So even though the coffee doesn't come from France, this brand is sold in France, and Malongo has very good coffees. It costs something like 5 euros, and it's a really, really good coffee. Another thing, this is called Papier d'Arménie. So you can buy this either near the cashier at your supermarket or at the pharmacy. And Papier d'Arménie is, how to describe it? It's little papers, and you take it, rip it, and whenever you cook something very smelly, such as fish, or if something burned in your oven like me 2 days ago, you light it. You do that above your sink, because you know you don't want to set things on fire. And you just let it do its thing, and when it's almost done, you just put some water to stop the fire, and it will basically remove the smell from your kitchen or from your living room. It works really well. It costs something like 3 or 4 euros. Other thing on my list are teas. So I don't have to necessarily share my favorite names of teas, but I really want to share with you my favorite brands of teas. The first one is Daman Frères. I have spoke about this brand I think in another video. They have delicious teas. I am the kind of person who prefers loose leaf teas. You can purchase either 50 grams or more. Another brand I love for teas in France is Mariage Frères. My favorite tea from them is either, let me share with you, Marco Polo. So it's a tea bag, but I think they also have a loose leaf version of Marco Polo, if I'm not mistaken. Marco Polo is a green tea with bleuet, like the blue flowers, and your tea becomes either blue or purple. It's very pretty and it's very delicious. And my ultimate favorite tea from them is Pleine Lune, which means full moon. It's a black tea and it is just so good. Another thing, I don't really know how to describe it, it's called Savon de Bille. It's not your regular soap, it's not a bar soap you use for your hands, okay? This one is specifically used for laundry and for stains. It removes stains so well. It's quite aggressive on the stain, I really love it. So Bille is, what is the word in English? I'm not sure. Bile? You know the thing when you're about to throw up, like the liquid you have? Well, this is Bille. And it's usually, the one in the soap is from bovine, so from beef bile. I don't know how to explain it. It's very poorly explained. Those soaps, you either find them at the supermarket in the laundry aisle or at the organic store. It wouldn't be a French video if I didn't speak about wines. What I love about France obviously is our wines, not to be too chauvin as we say in France, like we love our country and everything, but we have great wines. It doesn't matter if you prefer red wine, I prefer red wine over all of the other wines, but it doesn't matter if you like red wine more or white wine or rosé. I'm going to put in the description box really good or my favorite kinds of wines you can look at the supermarket also. I have hyperhidrosis, so the bottle is very clammy, I'm sorry. We also have smaller wine bottles, which is maybe better for you to transport, but not all of the wines I'm gonna speak about are available in smaller packaging. And from the top of my head, I don't have the specific names of the bottles I like, but every time I try a new wine, I take a picture if I like it. I know there is Pic Saint-Loup that is really good. Then there is Puy Fumé, it's a white wine. I'm gonna put it in the description box. Last item is Savon Marseille. It doesn't matter if you want a good hand soap. For example, I have this classic French Savon Marseille on my sink in the kitchen. This one is Savon Marseille with honey, but my favorite item to purchase from the organic store, it's this Savon Marseille, but without glycerin. And with this, I make my own laundry detergent. If you're interested, here is the video. So I think it's a really good thing to buy in France, because that way, if you're interested into making your own hand soap or laundry detergent, you can use this. I haven't found an equivalent on Amazon in other countries. I'm not sure they sell it, so if you come to France, this would be, I think, a good thing to purchase if you want to try making your own homemade DIY recipes. And with that, friends, it's the end of the video. I know it was a bit more long than expected, but you know, I had to cover all of those items because French items are really good and I don't want you to miss on them, especially if you came from very far and especially if it's maybe your only trip to France in the following years. Who knows, because you know, a ticket is expensive, so if you come from the other side of the world, I want you to have a good list of things to try or purchase as a gift. And I hope you enjoyed. If you tried any of this, let me know. If you liked the video, let me know as well. And there's gonna be a second and third part of this video. As I said, it's a series. I'm gonna cover in my next one all the cool items to purchase in a French pharmacy. And the last video is gonna be dedicated to babies, so it's gonna cover all the best French baby items you can purchase in France. I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that said, have a lovely afternoon. Salut!